What lengths would you go to keep a promise? I look at the words of Isaiah chapter 49, verse 16 that says, "These walls I'll never forget. I have you etched onto my right hand. Have you engraved on my right hand. I'll never forget your walls, Jerusalem." That's the voice of God speaking out of that covenantal self that says, when I make a promise, it's like stitched onto my hand. I believe there are passages that say, heaven and earth will fail before his words fail. The promise made to Abraham that you will be a father of nations. People will bless you, they'll be blessed. People will curse you, will be cursed. But for you, your children will be like the sands of the sea, like the stars of the sky, unable to count them all, as I keep my promise. Now, I'm using paraphrases here, but I'm conveying something of the essential nature and character of God, that of steadfastness, that of connection and intimacy and inclusion. Okay, that's theme one. Our class is about strategic leadership. Do you believe there's a relationship between having a character of steadfastness, fidelity, promise-making, and promise-keeping? Accounting for what the resources are, where they are located, how they're being dispersed, and how they're being used. Having expectations of a return on that commitment, that folks will stay in the promise until these things are realized. Do you think there's a relationship between that set of values and that formed character and the actions that relate to execution and strategic leadership? I'm going to upload a couple of clips for you around a fidelity view of organizations. I call them high-fi or high-fidelity organizations, and of course their contrast is low-fidelity organizations. There are organizations which are amazing, awesome at making a promise and executing on it. They get the quality experience right every time. They make it worth it every time. For some of you, it's a white cardboard cup of coffee that you can hold closely to your bosom as you go into your first board meeting that you bought for about $4 at a local shop. For others, it is the safety that you feel when you walk across a campus, a church parking lot late at night, that you can expect that the investment they made around security has taken into account that you volunteer there at late nights. Or maybe it's the expectation that the food that you eat at a local restaurant or quick serve fast food joint or your cafeteria isn't going to affect you with poison, that people have handled it safely in hygienic ways. Some of these unspoken promises and expectations are the ways that we stitch our lives together. We move out in the world with trust and expectations. That if a promise is made, we walk through the world expecting it'll be kept. Now, promise is a form of language that says by the one who is promising that they guarantee, although there will be a postponement in time, they guarantee there'll be a union between word and deed. And what I want you to look for this week as you select your films, or you've already committed to your films, is to see what role covenant making, promise making, fidelity, making committals today for tomorrow's realizations, how these have played inside of the narratives that you've selected. Look for these exchanges, these intersections where a promise may have made a difference, or the broken promise, the infidelity, the betrayal of a promise made is how the story works its way out. So that's our probe for this week. I'm going to upload a video clip on high fidelity organizations I recorded for another class, and a few PowerPoints that'll help you think through some of those things. I wonder what your thoughts are about high fidelity organizations and their capacity to deliver on strategic promises.